I'm Tara Joseph, looking at the week ahead in Asia with Wayne Arnold, our economics editor for the Asia region. And Wayne, let's start with China GDP. It'll be the big data event of the week.
This is the closer. This is the end of the year. We're going to see what happened for the full year, for the fourth quarter, and for December out of China. And obviously, a lot of people are expecting 7.8%, which is on the high side, I think. I think we'll see, if you want to talk numbers, 7.3. China's growth is starting to flatten out, but it's not quite out of the woods yet. However, this will mean that they will come in bang on target for the year as predicted by the government.
But as you said, it's the closer, so it's kind of backward looking. Is there anything within the report that's going to give us a new number?
We're going to get some industrial production stuff. We're going to have a lot of numbers out of there, housing, urban investment, housing prices, all of which I think will indicate that things are flattening out and that things are looking much better going into 2013. I think given the combination of government infrastructure spending, a little bit more of a positive attitude, and most of that is sprung on one of the most interesting things that's happening this year is, in spite of everything that Congress in the U.S. has done to destroy it, the U.S. is recovering. The housing market is looking good. And this is great news for China, great news for all the exporters in Asia, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, the Philippines. This is great news for us. And so we have, combining that with quantitative easing from the ECB and the Fed, it could be a very good year for markets.
You are sounding optimistic, and it's only
I
January.
really
Let's move to Japan.
See someone about it.
Abenomics, signs that he's really pushing to turn the economy around. We get machinery orders, maybe not the biggest data point, but are we going to see signs of change
this is
happening?
when we're going to see what industry thinks of Abenomics. So far, the markets love it. He's inflating the economy, or he's promised to try to kick the Bank of Japan into doing so. We'll get to see the first sign of three things. One, do companies buy the cheaper yen and whether it's going to last? Do they think that China's recovering? Because remember, China is a major export market for Japanese industrial machinery. If they think that recovery is taking back off, and if they think the U.S. economy and the global economy is starting to turn a little more quickly, we'll see those pick up as well, probably into the 3% range year on year.
So a pickup in Japan and China, potentially. Another interesting issue, it's kind of dominating the region in a much bigger atmosphere, actually. Security officials from the States next week going to visit both South Korea and Japan.
Yeah, that's true.
Is this big political story of Asia pivot going to seep into the markets?
Yeah, I think markets are starting to watch this with a weather eye. Usually, markets have learned not to take security issues too seriously because they kind of drift on and on. North Korea, for example, can launch a missile and the markets do not freak out, even in Seoul, which is right there. What it is becoming is a big economic and investment issue. So we are going to see U.S. officials go to Seoul and go to Tokyo after that to try to think to bridge this gap between Seoul and Tokyo to make sure that their two staunchest allies in the region are on the same page when it comes to uniting the Pacific Rim to what the U.S. perceives as the rising Chinese challenge.
Okay, so quickly, economic fallout, does that mean
look at the chain of events. You have the newly appointed finance minister of Japan. His first trip out of the box was to go to Myanmar on the Chinese southern flank and talk up investment there. Now you have the Japanese prime minister right now today visiting Southeast Asia and cementing trade and investment and defense ties with the Philippines, and he'll move on to the rest of ASEAN.
Sounds like money pouring into the region. Wayne Arnold, thanks very much.